Kilf and welcome back to the Feisty Ferret Business. Sorry if I look worse than usual, I've just finished work and I'm exhausted, but I've got these two beans to keep me going. So today's video is going to be a bit more specific than what I usually do, but it's a topic that's affected me and I'm sure it's affected a lot of other UK ferret owners, so I'm going to be talking about now, and that is renting. So this will be showing my own experience of renting with ferrets as well as other animals, what to look out for in contracts, and generally how to make sure that you don't get kicked out because of your ferrets. Because they are a bizarre animal, as in like, so to start with, most places in the UK, so this video is going to be about the UK specifically, I don't know what it's like in the US. In the UK, most places won't take dogs or cats because they are generally much messier, more destructive, especially cats. Or like with dogs, they have a strong smell, and a lot of landlords just don't want to deal with the aftermath of those things, because if you don't take care of them, then they can leave damage, and that's an issue for the landlords because they have to pay for it most of the time. And same goes for why a lot of places don't take children and also smokers, because again it's the smell, and if you smoke enough it damages the walls. So that's understandable. Some places will accept caged animals, which is where the issue of ferrets comes into play. So obviously ferrets, some ferret people do like put their ferrets in cages, so obviously you let them out occasionally. So do you class them as a free roam animal or a caged animal? Because neither would be factually correct, like really. So my own experience is, again, quite complicated. When me and my partner first started renting, at the beginning we had told the agent that we had a guinea pig, that's my partner's. I had 2 hedgehogs at the time and 2 ferrets, or just 1 ferret at the time. And they said that would be fine, and just, you know, keep the place pest free and all that and clean. And then about 7 months down the line, our landlord found out that we had 2 ferrets and flipped. They were not happy. They said they never would have let us rent if they knew we had ferrets, and that the only solution, that it was either rehome them and stay there or find a new place. And that's when I realised that I made my first big mistake, which is not checking contracts. So in the UK, when you agree to rent somewhere, you get a contract with a bunch of well-written terms, and one of them will be about pets. Before you agree to do anything, always double check with either the landlord or the agent what the situation on pets are. Sometimes the lease for the entire building will just not allow animals, but some landlords will be okay. Again, it's usually, you can negotiate, so sometimes when we were applying, I would offer extra on the deposit or even extra bill for rent to allow us to have pets. Some places will allow a certain amount of caged animals, so for this place we were allowed up to 10 caged animals, which is why they're okay with our animals. Some places, you just negotiate before you agree to anything, and then when you do, before you sign any contracts, check the terms about pets. Obviously, so on our old place, the contract said that the landlord and us had agreed to keeping 2 hedgehogs and 1 guinea pig. They didn't mention the ferrets, and I don't know why, because obviously we did talk this with the agent and we had no way of contacting the landlord before we signed anything, so I'm not sure what happened there. But if I had known that, I would have contacted the agent again just to double check, because then that would have made a difference. But with our new place, it says that pets are allowed under, as long as the landlord agrees, but the landlord can withdraw consent at any point, essentially. At any point they can decide that actually no, we don't want to have pets. And that's quite risky because obviously pets aren't something you can just give away. While in the last month or so of our tenancy at our old place, I actually did have to temporarily keep my ferrets at my sister's house nearby because my landlord wasn't happy with me keeping them there any longer. So that was difficult, and I hope that I'd never have to do that again. What are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? So, yeah, looking back, that was my first big mistake, and always check your contract before you sign anything. And if you have any doubts, triple check. You're not bothering the landlord or the agent or whoever it is that you're doing this with. You know, they'll want to double check everything too. What was I saying? Hey Butterfly, you want to join in on the salmon oil? There you go. Salmon oil time. So now that we got through the before you actually start renting, let's talk about during renting. So if you are in a situation like myself where you're renting and you can keep your animals, but like you need to be very careful that you don't cause any issues, otherwise it could just withdraw consent. With ferrets particularly, it is about cleanliness and smell. Anyone who knows ferrets, has ferrets, or has seen ferrets knows that they smell a lot. It's partially it's not really their fault, and it's not really your fault. Ferrets, like dogs, just have a particularly musky smell that you can't get rid of, and trying to bathe them will only make it worse. However, there are ways you can limit the smell, which when you have inspections or if your landlord drops by randomly, this will be very crucial. And also, like I said, just general cleanliness. So what I will do is, because I have inspection next week and I'm really nervous about it, but what I've been doing is hoovering the floor of the ferret room. So this is all going to be just about the ferret room because it doesn't affect the rest of the apartment. Hoovering this carpet twice a week at least, and once a week with some cleaning powder over it. That's meant to help eliminate odours and just make it clean better. I am deep cleaning the cage every day, and before the inspection happens, I will deep clean it again to make sure that there's like no feces at all, because obviously their feces stink. I will be keeping the window open. They will be in the cage. I'll be keeping a window open with a fan to help circulate the air, because that makes a big difference. I have a gel fresh air odorizer which will help limit some odours. I'll be removing all the bedding and washing all the bedding and keeping all the ferret toys and supplies in the cupboard, and just to eliminate as much smell as possible. And then I'll be going around with a fabric scent cleaner and cleaning anything and everything, and just that's what I'm going to be doing about the smell. As far as mess goes, I'm going to be as far as the landlords think that they do live in the cage apart from when I clean them out, so I will be putting away all their toys and their tubes and everything, just, you know, like I would with any other animal. And the only real issue that I'm particularly worried about apart from the smell is the carpet, because no matter how much I try, they have scratched at some of the carpets, and obviously there's some carpets that it's not too recognisable, but this particular carpet is. If you want more salmon oil, just say. And I am worried that it is particularly recognisable in some of the slots here, so I've been I don't know how to describe how I'm sorting out, but essentially I've been either hiding the bits of the carpet that have been scratched up a little bit, or trimming them down and like repairing it myself, and it's working. Still a bit concerned, but got under control. But yeah, when you leave an apartment that you've been renting when you've had ferrets, again, make sure that there's no smell lingering, because this is what annoyed me. On my old place, there was no smell left in the room where the ferrets were, and then in our end of tenancy inspection, they claimed that there was a ferret smell in the second bedroom, which is the one that me and my partner had, which isn't possible because the ferrets weren't in that room, and there's proof of that. But and we got a bit deducted off our deposit for that. So just make sure that you do as much as you can to keep the smell out. I would recommend moving your ferret's valves a bit before your actual move-in date, so that there's enough time for the smell to go away. But obviously for some people that's not possible, so it's just do what you can. But yeah, I will, so those are my tips, tricks, advice or whatever for managing renting in the UK with ferrets. Again, not all of these points will apply to everyone. Some people are probably lucky enough to have a really nice landlord that doesn't care, but that's not the case for a lot of us, and of course it depends on location, price, and a ton of other things. Hey. So yeah, that's all today guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next video. Bye!